Hi friends, welcome back to ECMA script tutorial series. In this video we are going to discuss about ECMA script module concept. So we have discussed about lots of topics, and this is the one of the vital topic, or you can say this is the one of the important topic of this series. And from this tutorial you will know how exactly the module concept is working and how we can manage and how we can reuse the code like OOPS. So we have completed OOPS concept, and today we are going to discuss about that thing with some more advanced level, right? So let's see how it's working, right? So before that we need to know some concept about these things. So basically how it's working and what is the purpose of these things. So let's take an example. Suppose you have two files, that is file1.js and file2.js, and inside your file1.js you have some variables, you have some functions, you have some classes, and those are needed from file2.js. Will you write again? No, absolutely no. We are going to discuss about how we can reuse our codes and how to access variable or function or class from one JS to another JS. So for this, in ECMA script we have an option for export. So basically module can be export and import. So by using these two keywords we can use this easily. So let's take an example and let's see how it's working. Suppose you have some files. Suppose I have just created this. This is the index.html, this is main.js, and this is common.js, and we are creating these things all inside a modules folder. The naming conventions is important, that is the modules folder, and inside here I just write common.js and main.js. so both are actually JS file, and I want to render these things from here. So I want to access this thing. So how you can access? So we need to use the script source tag. So here we want to create some common things. We'll create some variables, some classes, some functions, and we will access that things from main.js, and all things will render from index.html. okay, so first let's see how we can render a JS file from here. So here simply write the script, and here just close this script tag, and inside here I just want to call the source, that is src, and here src will be ./main.js. I want to import the main.js, or I want to use the main.js. So that's simple. The difference is we are going to use the modular concept. So here we need to use another attribute, that is the type attribute. We need to define, we are using the JavaScript and which is module, right? So write in this way, spelling mistake, module. Okay, so if you just use these things we can access, right? And another things we need to keep in mind. So if I simply run this in this way, that is the home, and my path, that is it will not run, actually the module will not work in this way. So if you want to run any modules, we need to use any server. You can use your WAM, XAMPP, anything, or you can use any servers. Here I want to use a server from Visual Studio Code. Actually I just installed the Visual Studio Code server, that is the live server option. So if you just go into the extension, and here you can see the live server, and I have installed it. So if you just click on uninstall, it will uninstall. So just search here live server and it will appear, and you can install it, so you can use this. Okay, so let's close this. Now the thing is how to run this. So we have to run this index.html using the server. So click on this and open with live server. So these are opening, that is ES6 module, and these are working. So this is the server path, not this. This is the static path from our computer system. So let's use these things. So we'll get output from here, right? So just inspect this. The thing is how we can write this. So let's go to the common.js. So here I just want to create some variables. Suppose let message, and let's say message equal to something, so write ES6 module concept, ES6 module concept. Okay, now we to print these things from main.js, right? So how can I print this? So simple, just go to the main.js and we can access the message from the common JS. So now just go here and simply write console.log and simple write message. Okay, so I am printing the message. So now if I just run this, will it get any value from here? No, absolutely no. Why no? Because we are using the same module structure. From index.html we are calling the main.js. So if I run these things, it will basically call the main.js. But the thing is, the message is not defined. It will automatically get the error because it's using server, so we don't need to refresh this also. So how can we access this? Here it is getting a concept, that is export and import. So before declaring any variable, if I just use the export, that means it can be accessible from this main.js, right? Now not only main.js, if you create any JS and let's use this message, then you can access these things. So here we just use export, and from common.js we want to get these things from main.js. So simple, so just provide the path. So from where you want to get the access, so need to relate with the common.js. So how we can relate this? So simple, we'll create import, and here we just want to call this, so it will coming from and the same path, so write dot slash and common, right? So we included these things, that is common.js. And now the thing is, if I just exported this message, and now we can call this from here, right? So if I now just go into the browser and refresh this, we can get the value, that is ES6 module concept. So basically these are coming from common.js. As we are using the export, it can be exportable. So if I just remove this export, what happened? So let's remove this, and you can see does not provide any export named message. So there is no any things with the name message which are exported. So let's use this, and we are getting this. So how cool is that? We don't need to even refresh that things. So this is the concept. And after that, if you just go into any frameworks like Angular or any React, then you can get access of these things and you will relate this. So there you will get this type of modules, and these are automatically refresh your page, will get the automatically data, and it will render the data correctly and with the very fast. So you can see this, how fast is this. Now these are the variables. So if I now just want to create any suppose a function, so let's create a function. So suppose the function is suppose get name, right? And I want to pass a parameter from the argument. So let's take a variable that's name, and here simply write return hello something, that is the name, right? So we know the string literal, so we will not use these things, so just use this backtick, and inside here we will write hello dollar inside the curly braces name. Now we need to call this, so we need to call this from the main.js. So how we can call this? So currently it's not using anywhere, so it will not get any things. So to call this or to access this get name from the main.js, first of all we need to export this. So without export keyword we cannot access from outside of this JS, and here just use the get name. So let's write the get name here and let's call this. So simply just write console.log and to print that, and the function name is get name. Actually we are using the get name here, so just write a get name, and suppose I am passing a name. Actually it receives an argument from here, and simply write David. Okay, And if you just go here and refresh this, we are getting, not refresh, we will getting the output hello David. Now let's create a class and let's see how it's working with this concept. So let's create a class in the common.js and let's see. Simply write a class, suppose any class, suppose my class, and let's inside the my class I'm just going to create any constructor. When we create any object of this class, we will get automatically, so we'll use this. So constructor, and inside the constructor just use console.log and simply just write here this is from constructor, right? And also we need to export these things, that is export, and we can get access of this class. So how can we create this, or how can we access this? So simple, just to write my class here and let's call this. So how to call this? So let's create an object. So let's obj is my object name equal to new and my class, right? And if we just go into the browser, we can see this is from constructor, right? So in this way we can access all the variables, all the functions and the class from outside of this, right? So now the question is, suppose we have a lots of variable functions and classes or anything, so that time we also can export in this way also. So this is the another way of exporting. So simply write here the message, or simply write my class, or simply write the get name. It's not mean that it will always be in the same order, you can do it any way. So just remove from export here, and these are exporting. So if you just go here and refresh this, still we are getting same output, no problem on that. And another things, suppose if I just want to get in separate ways, suppose let's call this in this way, so we can use these things also. So I just want to simple import the message, we can call it separately, or if I just want to get the name also, so we can call this also. The thing is, if I want to use any resource, suppose I want to use only the message, that time we don't need to import all those things. So it will actually call this message from this JS and only use that things. So in the common.js there are lots of variables, lots of function, we will not use all those things, we will just only use the things which I want to import. So this is the reason why these things are first, of why this is the advanced JavaScript concept, right? And another thing, suppose I am undoing all those things. Okay, so I am to save another things. Suppose there is a get name, suppose we have another JS, that is common2js, common3js, and there is also a message, and I want to use that message also. So how we going to do this? Simply we can set any aliases. So suppose, so after message we can write as suppose msg, right? Now if you just go to the browser, it will get the error because the message is not known. Now it will call from msg. So just go here and see the error. So message is not defined. So now it will treat as msg, right? Okay, so now it's okay. So this is the another way of importing, right? So this is the overall module concept. So I want to discuss some another features of this modular concept. There is another features to create any default function, right? So how we going to create this default function? So simply write the default keyword and then create a function. So actually default function have no name, actually just write the keyword, that is default, and let's use anything, that is console.log, and write something. So hi, this is from default function, right? So why this error? The reason is default function will by default as an export. So always a default function should be exportable, and it also can be usable from here also. So to use this default function, so we just go into here and let's import all default, right, and it will come from the common.js, right. And if I just want to print the output, so simply just write all default and it will get the output. Simple. So hi, this is from default function. So basically this is all about the ECMAScript module concept. Hope you will like this video and hope it will be helpful to you. So please comment if you have still any queries about this video, and next day we are going to discuss about the promise concept of ECMAScript. So please like and subscribe this channel for upcoming video. Thanks for watching this video. Have a good day.